Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural SBF-LABG Latin America Business Group webinar on Mexican beef and pork. My name is Amelia, and I work at the Secretariat of the LABG. Some quick housekeeping rules. Right from the start, I would like to please tell you if you could keep yourself only on audio mode. Please mute your microphones if you're not speaking. If you have any questions, like if you please put it on the Q&A, and also if you would like to ask for any meetings that you haven't already asked for, please do so there too. If you need any help, please put your hand up and somebody will help you then. And we have a very, very busy and insightful agenda today. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the chairman of the LABG, Mr. Prasoon Mukherjee, who is also the chair of Universal Success Enterprises. Over to you, Prasoon.
Hi everyone. Can everyone see me and hear me?
Yeah,
hello.
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. His Excellency Augustin Garcia-Lopez, Ambassador of Mexico in Singapore, was one of our biggest supporter in forming the Latin American Business Group in SBF, which was done after 27 years of inceptions of SBF. And I wanted to say that this is our first program, and Excellency Augustin has played a very important role in forming the group, and we are starting with Mexico. Co-partners and speakers, Alvin Kwek, President, Meat Traders Association, Alejandra Aceves, Director of the Mexican Pork Exporters Association, Mr. Rogelio Perez, Mr. Rogelio Perez, President of the Mexican Beef Exporters Association, Mr. Hugo Fragoso, President of ANETIF, Ms Joelyn Ng, Assistant Director, Industry Development and Community Partnership Division of Singapore Food Authority. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first SBF-LABG Mexican Beef and Pork webinar B2B meeting today. My name is Prasoon Mukherjee. I am the chairman of Universal Success Enterprise, and I'm also the chairperson of the SBF Latin American Business Group of LABG. I'm also the vice chair of the Global Connect, which is a very important division of Singapore Business Federation. I'm honored to welcome you to our webinar. LABG was formed in January 2021 to bring mutual growth to businesses in Latin America and Singapore. We represent SBF in building relationships with counterpart organizations, promoting the capabilities and interest of the Singapore business community, furthering market development for Singapore and Latin American business through acquiring information, building knowledge, and sharing it with businesses through acquiring information, building knowledge, and sharing with businessmen so as to develop their interests and help them win projects, be it in Latin America, ASEAN, or Singapore. Our work is very much, we work together with Latin American business to build successful projects. The vision is to build LABG as an ecosystem where Singapore business can serve as Latin American business partners into ASEAN and Greater Asia, and can ramp up trade and businesses in Latin American markets. There is still much work to be carried out, and that may be seen from the fact that in coming out of the pandemic, Singapore non-oil domestic exports to Latin America grew by more than 280% in Q1 2021. This is the biggest growth in the emerging markets. Our imports from Latin America was over Singapore dollar 1.2 $1.8 billion in Q1 2021, of which Mexico's share is growing and is nearly 42%. This reflects our growing and strengthening relationship with Mexico, which has lasted for more than 46 years since the Embassy of Mexico was first established in Singapore. This relationship is also strategic given Singapore's need for food diversity. For meat, this is the first time that Mexican beef has been promoted in Singapore, and we're encouraged by the enthusiasm of Singapore businesses to meet the Mexican beef and pork companies at the B2B meetings. We'd like to thank our partners, the Embassy of Mexico in Singapore, especially my friend, my dearest friend, His Excellency Augustin Garcia-Lopez, the Ministry of Agriculture, Mexico, the Meat Traders Association of Singapore, Mexican Beef Exporters Association, Mexican Pork Exporters Association, and the National Association of TIF Establishment Mexico for their invaluable help, time, and effort in putting this webinar and B2B together with us. We will also like to thank the 9 Mexican beef and pork companies and local importers, distributors, and retailers, and wish them all the best for their upcoming work and meetings. I also must say that, this is just the beginning of it's a historic day. It is the first meeting of the Latin America Business Group for a business summit, and it is also for Mexico. And this is just the beginning, and I am sure that there are going to be many, many, many events, and which will ultimately result in businesses to a larger extent between Singapore and Mexico and Singapore. Thank you so much.
And now over to His Excellency Augustin Garcia-Lopez for his introductory remarks. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prasoon. You had a historic speech for a historic moment. And of course, I love your numbers, 42% of the imports from Latin America to be Mexico. So that allows us to really be very, very happy and ready to continue to reinforce those numbers. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, my very, very dear friend, Prasoon. Good morning, Singapore. Buenas noches, Mexico. First of all, I would like to thank Singapore Business Federation, SBF, for organizing jointly this forum to Mexican exporters and Singapore meat importers, as we believe it is a very important milestone for the F&B industries of both countries. I would also like to congratulate my friend, my very dear friend, Mr. Prasoon Mukherjee, for the recent creation of the Singapore Business Federation Latin America Business Group. And this is our first event. Muchas felicidades, Prasoon, y todo el equipo. This seminar is the beginning of a prolific program of activities that the Embassy and SBF will embark in order to promote a more robust trade and investment relationship between our nations. In this occasion, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to the first SBF Latin American Business Group webinar and B2B event, where attendants will have the opportunity to meet and do business with some of the best beef and pork producers, exporters, and importers in the world. I would like also to thank our core partners, which were instrumental in the organization of this event. I extend my gratitude to Alberto Cuellar from the Mexican Secretariat of Agriculture Representative Office in Tokyo. Muchas gracias, Alberto. Eberto Rivera from the International Affairs Coordination of the Secretariat of Agriculture. Muchas gracias, Eberto. Rogelio Perez, President of the Mexican Beef Exporters Association. Bienvenido, muchísimas gracias, Rogelio. Alejandra Aceves, Director of the Mexican Pork Exporters Association. Bienvenida y muchas gracias, Alejandra. Carlos Aldeco, Asia Representative of the National Agri-Food Council of Mexico, CNA, here in Japan, no? in Beijing. So Carlos, wonderful to have you here as well. Hugo Fragoso, President of the National Association of TIF Certified Establishment. Hugo, bienvenido y muchas gracias. Mr. Alvin Kwek, President of the Meat Traders Association of Singapore. And last but not least, to Ms Joelyn Ng, Assistant Director of Industry, Development and Community Partnership Division of the Singapore Food Agency. And of course to Darius and Gran Amelia y Darius, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much. All their collective efforts gracefully allow us to coordinate the outreach to exporters and importers participating in this seminar. It is on the framework of an historic moment of our Trans-Pacific trade exchanges in which Singapore is on the verge of imminently becoming the first non-regional associate member of the Pacific Alliance, a group of countries integrated by Mexico, Chile, Colombia, and Peru that currently accounts for 41% of the GDP of Latin America and the Caribbean, and it has 59 observers countries. Every day, our business communities are more aware of the important roles that Singapore and Mexico play in their respective regions. Singapore as the gate of Southeast Asia and Mexico as a platform to the integration into the value chains of North America and Latin America through instruments such as the new NAFTA or USMCA, USMCA, and the CPTPP. But it is also in the agro-industry sector that Mexico aims to become a partner to Singapore, contributing to relevant areas such as food safety and food security, nowadays so important in COVID times for Singapore and post-COVID times, of course. You can find now premium quality Mexican products in Singapore, such as berries, avocados, seafood, asparagus, coffee, refreshments, beer, tequila, and many others. Since May of 2010, Mexico obtained the accreditation from the Singaporean authorities to export frozen pork. And after many efforts and a brief hiatus, Mexican pork has been exported constantly since 2017. In the case of beef, Mexican beef products, they have also been approved for export after a successful and dedicated audit mission from SFA to Mexican meat processing plants. We thank our friends at SFA for their continued support through this process. And of course, our friends of Senacica in Mexico. As mentioned earlier, Mexico is among the best producers of meat in the world, while in 2019, Mexico was the third biggest foreign beef supplier to the United States, only below Australia and Canada, with exports reaching 232,000 tons. Mexican meat is also exported to more than 58 countries. During 2020, Mexico's meat exports soared 23%, according to information provided by the Secretariat of Agriculture. Last year, meat shipments totaled 572,000 tons, with a value equivalent to $2.6 billion US. Thanks to the higher demand in Asia, specifically in China, Mexico doubled its pork exports to this continent. This placed Mexico as the 7th producer of animal protein worldwide and in the 11th place in production of primary livestock. I am sure that in the B2B meetings that will follow this seminar, you will witness that Mexican companies have the highest standards of quality and safety. Mexico's beef and pork industries are keeping a steady pace in implementing these best production practices, which have increased the national meat supply chain's resilience during current global pandemic context. We are very competitive, and you will see that this is the case. In the federally inspected establishments, the TIFs, Mexico has established strong health protocols well ahead of the unforeseen coronavirus outbreaks, which have allowed the domestic industry to continue production without major setbacks or closures, resulting in the excellent industry results seen last year. So congratulations to all the Mexican producers that are here and that are part of this success. Results ordered by the increasing international demand, especially in markets where the domestic industry saw severe pandemic affectation. So, in conclusion, I invite you to follow this trend and to give Mexican meat the opportunity to enter your pantries and blow your taste buds in your barbecues, hot pots, and in your bakute, which I might add has had a great impact on the demand of Mexican pork ribs in Singapore. We want to see that of all the products, beef and pork, from this moment after this historic seminar and B2B event. This due to the premium quality of Mexican producers. So, buen provecho, bon appetit. Muchas gracias. ¡Viva México! ¡Viva Singapur! ¡Viva la carne! ¡Y viva la globalización! Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias, His Excellency. Thank you very much for the very insightful speech. And now,
de América Latina de SBF. Gracias.
Gracias. And now over to Mr. Alvin Kwek, Vice President of LABG Executive Committee and President of the Meat Traders Association, who will give an overview of the beef and pork market in Singapore. Over to you, Alvin.
Thank you, Amelia. Greetings from China. Good morning, Singaporean, and also a good evening to the Mexican VIP. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge thanks for the following for making this webinar possible. His Excellency Ambassador Augustin Garcia-Lopez of the Mexico Embassy, Mr. Prasoon of the LABG Group in SBF, Mr. Jess Ureta, President of the Mexican Pork Association, and Mr. Rogelio Sanchez, President of the Mexican Beef Association, and Ms Joelyn of the SAF, and of course, not forgetting Amelia and Grace for making this webinar possible. Hi, my name is Alvin Kwek. I'm the President of the Meat Traders Association. Our Meat Traders Association this year is 20 years old, and we totally import about $1.5 billion worth of meat into Singapore. Our association comprises of all the meat importers, exporters, and producers in Singapore. We have been working closely with all the government agencies and embassies to protect the interests of our member and build a food resilience for the Singapore. Mexico has always enjoyed strong trading relationship with Singapore meat industry. As we tackle the global-based issues on the meat supply, such as COVID and the African swine flu, it is important that we strengthen these ties. And I hope with today's presentation, both our members and the Mexican meat supplier will be able to find good business opportunity together. Allow me to do some importation figures into Singapore about the meat. In Singapore, we import about 116,000 tons of pork a year with a value of 485 million. And in Singapore, we consume about 20 kilos of pork per capita, per person per year. Grace, next. Out of the total quantity of pork, majority, out of that, 31% come from Brazil, and 9% from Netherlands, and 8% from Spain. The fresh pork come mainly from Indonesia and Australia. The most popular cuts of the pork will be the pork belly, boneless leg, boneless shoulder, riblets, and so on. Grace, next. As for the beef, we import about 32,000 tons a year with a value of 285 million. In Singapore, we consume about 6 kilos of beef per capita. The reason is some of the Indians and the Chinese do not consume much beef due to the religion. Grace, next. Out of the beef import, 56% come from Brazil, 27% from Australia, and some from United States and New Zealand as well. Out of the popular cuts will be the pork knuckles, the shank, the forequarters, and so on. So with this, I'll end my presentation and I'll leave the rest of the details on the Q&A session. Muchas gracias. Viva Mexico. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Alvin. And now over to Engineer Alejandra Aceves, who is the Director of the Mexican Pork Exporters Association, who will talk on the Mexican pork industry profile. Over to you, Engineer Aceves.
Thank you very much, Prasoon, Mukherjee, Chairman of Universal Success Enterprises. Thank you very much for the invitation. Ambassador Augustin, Garcia-Lopez, thank you for your enthusiasm in this event. Please, next one. About us. Mexican Pork Exporters Association was founded in 2005 in order to promote Mexican pork all over the world. Next one. Our association consisted in 12 plants that are located all around Mexico. The main states producer of pork are Jalisco, Sonora, Yucatan, Guanajuato, and Veracruz. These plants are located in those states. Next one, please. MPA works hard every day to promote and let consumers worldwide enjoy the taste and quality of Mexican pork. Next. Our companies, in their effort to produce safe and secure products in all stages of the production cycle, are adopting the total vertical integration system, which controls the entire cycle from breeding, raising, fattening, slaughtering, and dressing, treatment and processing of value-added products, such as portion products up to export. What does this mean? That the MPA companies controls all the process since the breeding until the export. Next one, please. The Mexican pork products fulfill and exceed the requirements of various international hygiene and quality certification standards, including the Mexican federal government standards. Our customers demand a transparent system where they can check the high quality and safety throughout production, processing, and export. We are able to supply products of certified standard to meet this demand. One of the appeals of Mexican pork is that our production flexibility allows us to meet the needs of different markets. Next one. Mexico is the 5th world pork exporter in the world. In 2020, we exported 200,000 tons. Next one, please. Next one. Where do we export pork in 2020? Our main market is Japan with a 40%. Then China with a 42%. The US with a 9%, and South Korea with a 3%. In 2014, we were able to go to visit your country, your beautiful country. We met your health authorities. We visited your supermarkets, met some of your importers, and we can tell you that since that moment, we are ready to export to your country. We are ready to meet your requirements because we know we make a high quality product. Next one, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Aceves. And now over to Rogelio Perez, President of Mexican Beef Exporters Association, who will talk about the Mexican beef industry profile. Over to you, Rogelio.
Thank you. Can I share my screen, please? I would like to share my screen, please. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much to all of you. Good morning in Singapore and good night here in Mexico. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you to all the people in Singapore that have been working with us. And we have been working very hard since 2008. We have been working with Singapore. We have been visiting your country, have been working with you because we have been very interested since the very beginning to achieve your market. Because for us, it has been very important to know what is your business, because it's not only the local consumption. We understand that you have a distribution. It's a hub, as we have been understanding all the time. Singapore is a big hub to achieve all the Asian market. And it has been very important for us. Since 2008 that we made our first visit to Singapore, we have been working with the Mexican embassy, at that time with ProMexico, with different companies, and of course with our Ministry of Agriculture, who has been every time has been next to us to work and to help us to achieve this goal that it's very near right now. Because we have been working, maybe our friends from pork have been opening the market since a few years ago, but in our case, this is the first time that we will be open really to send our products. And right now, maybe it's more than 10 years later that we have this market open, but it's very important for us. My name is Rogelio Perez. I am the CEO of Mexican Beef Exporters Association, and I want to introduce what is the Mexican beef. We are part of the National Feedloaders Association. Right now, it's the Mexican Beef Producers Association, and Mexican beef was founded since 2007. Means we have been around 14 years in our history working together to promote the exports to all around the world. We have been working with different countries. We have been in Russia. We have been in Africa, where we are exporting. As the ambassador said, we have dozens of countries open for our beef, but right now we are in only 14 countries that we are sending, because this, as you know, the market, it's very different and it's changing every time. 4 or 5 years ago, we are sending our first halal products to Qatar, for example. Since around 6-7 years, we have been working with the halal certification. When we visited the first time Singapore, it was very important for us to understand what is halal, because at that time, that concept halal, it doesn't make sense on us, because we have a different religion, and of course we know about the other religions, but we do not understand what is the difference for halal productions. Right now, we understand that. We have been working with that. We start to work with the Middle East countries. We have been working with United Arab Emirates. We have been working with Saudi Arabia. We have been working with Qatar and many other countries that we have been working, understanding what is the halal. But before that time, we work with the Singapore people, with the Singapore authorities, with our Mexican authorities to work to understand your market. We have been visiting your supermarkets, your wholesale areas, the different markets, to understand what is the Singapore market. Mexico is one of the most open countries, with one of the most open countries with a lot of free trade agreements around the world. We, as Mexican beef, we have been part of the CPTPP at that time when the negotiations started. When we were again in Singapore at that time, we were with the people of the embassy. We were with Harrison at that time to understand that we wanted to stay there, not only for the negotiation of the CPTPP. We wanted to stay there to understand more and to try to make the opening faster, because at that time we already already sent our products, our documents to your authorities. Well, but what is what we do in the world? Where Mexico has the 9 cattle herd all around the world, means we are on the 10th first cattle producers, and we have the 9 cattle herd, around 70 million heads in Mexico. We are the 6th beef producer, 2.1 million tons of cattle only for Mexico. This is the tons that we are producing. We are the 6th beef consumption. It is very important because we are exporting and we are producing for our country. Sometimes people ask, why are you trying to export if you are a big consumer? And I say, yeah, it's a very big market. It's a very huge market, our market. But some of our products are more appreciated in different markets, and that's the secret of the international trade, to send what it has a more or a great demand in a different country, and we are sending these kind of products to different countries, and that's how we are sending some products to Asia. We are the 9th beef exporter. We have been working very hard on this, but maybe it can sound, oh, okay, you're in the 9th place, but let me tell you, 20 years ago, we are not in this line. 10 years ago, we are not in this top 10. We are very new exporters, and we are integrated. Just as the Pork Association gave us the comment to you, we are integrated because our companies has the feedlots, has the slaughter plant, they have the e-bonding, and they have the commercialization, the trading. It means that we can do whatever you want. If you want a different diet for the beef, you want a more or longer time for the feeding, you have different requirements for the beef. We are in the capability to do this. Why? Because we are integrated, and it is only that you have to talk with the company, what do you want, and you will have this kind of products. And just as a comment, we are the first cattle exporter of all around the world. And one point that I like to say is that right now, Mexico is out of the 10 top importers of beef. 2 years ago, we were in the main importers, and right now we are producing more than we are needing in our country, and we have self-sufficiency. As you can see here, our production since 2010 to 2020, it was from around 1.7 million tons of beef to this year we have 2.1 million tons. And the red bars are only the part that we are exporting, means that we have enough product to send to different markets so we can grow more. Even we are sending a lot of products to our domestic market. We have the capability to export, always working with our Ministry of Agriculture, and always showing that we have quality and the assurance of quality through ANTIEF certification, that this is the global standard that we have been working with our ministry to guarantee that everything has inequity, because for us it's the most important. We are in the main markets, in the main markets of the world. Right now, we have been, as I told you, exporting more than what we have been importing since 2016. Means we have until now 5 years, and this year will be the same. We have been exporting more than we are importing. Why? Because we are trying to diversify our markets to be more productive, to send more products to your markets. We are a good partner for you because Mexico is a great and a huge producer of beef. Our markets, as I told you, we are exporting only 14% of our total production. Our main market, as our ambassador told you, it is the US. 86% of our total export go to the US. We are sending 2% to Canada. It means around 19% goes to North America, and the rest means almost 10% goes to Asia. We have a good participation in Japan, in South Korea, in Hong Kong, China, that we have been exporting, and it means we have the experience, we understand the Asian market, we understand the Asian requirements, the products. We have been having a lot of B2B meetings with traders, with importers, with people who has been working with the beef. And right now we understand what you want and on the halal requirements that we have been working. As I told you, we have some halal standards accomplished, and we have certification from different companies. Maybe after this, I understand that we will have a special seminar for the halal products, and maybe we can talk more about this because we have been working with this since 5 years. As I told you, since 2008, it is one of our first pictures of Singapore when the gardens behind this huge building were in construction. They were under construction. We were there in Singapore since 2008, trying to understand and trying to make the business with you. I guess this is a huge opportunity. This is the first time that we are going to do real business with you. We are ready, and I hope you are ready to take our products to your country. My name is Rogelio Perez, again, the CEO of Mexican Beef Exporters Association. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rogelio Perez. And now I would like to introduce to you Hugo Fragoso Sanchez, President of ANETIF, on ANETIF's Mexico's TIF certification. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Hugo Fragoso Sanchez.
Thank you, Amelia. Could you put my presentation in this? Thank you, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the Mexican Embassy. Good morning, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you to the Singapore Business Federation for the opportunity to give a message in this opening session of the webinar. I'm Mr. Hugo Fragoso. I'm the Executive President of the National Association of Federal Type Inspection, certification given by the Mexican government to the meat producers. Next, please. Let me give you some information about the Mexican Food Safety Certification. The TIF certification, as I commented previously, is the recognition that a slaughterhouse or processing plant comply with the national regulation to produce meat under the inspection of Agriculture Authority. The system was born 72 years, was originally established 72 years ago and recognized by the USDA authority on that year. Our system is divided into 5 categories in Mexico: slaughterhouses, cut and deboning, industrialization, cold storage, and distribution center. There are in our country 470 TIF companies certified by the Agriculture Authority. Next, please. Our system is recognized by 70 countries, and main destinies are USA, Japan, Korea, European Union, Central America, Vietnam, Hong Kong, and now China. Mexico is in the top 10 world producers of beef, pork, and poultry. Next, please. The certified products are beef, pork, equine, and poultry, sheep, goat, egg products, processed products like sausages, prepared foods, etc. The main characteristics of TIF, of our system TIF seal, the TIF seal is the one that you can see in the corner, the green one, is that the products are complying with the highest standards of food safety, including permanent official inspection, hazard requirements, hygiene standards, good production practices, and traceability. Next, please. Considering the demands of markets, Mexican meat producers have incorporated international quality standards in all their products, such as SQF, BRC, FSSC 22000s, or other certifications considered in the GFSI schemes accepted by the international markets. It's very important for our producers in Mexico to include this kind of certification because nevertheless, that is not required by the government, is one of the most important certification to participate in the international markets. Next, please. And not less important, integrated TIF produced have included voluntary standards of animal welfare, social responsibility, and environmental responsibility. Next, please. On the other hand, we are ANETIF. Our organism was founded 37 years ago and is located in Mexico City. We are focused in promote Mexican meat industry with high food safety standards. Next, please. Our organism, as I told you, was founded 37 years ago. Next, please. Our organism cover 82% of the industry. We have more than 150 affiliated companies. We have more than 500 brands in our associates. We covered 57% of the animal producers linked to the slaughterhouses and most of the meat exporters. Our main goal, next please, is food safety, infrastructure, training, and foreign trade. We are working on that issues, on that topics, and support all the necessities that are established by our memberships. Next, please. And our structure, as you can see in this slide, is we have a president, Mr. Mario Gorena Mireles, a directive council, and assembly of membership. My name is Hugo Fragoso Sanchez, as I told you in the beginning. I'm the executive president of the organization, and these are my email. You can write me if you need some information. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Hugo Fragoso Sanchez. And now for our next speaker, Ms Joelyn Ng, Assistant Director, Industry Development and Community Partnership at Singapore Food Agency. And she will talk on Singapore Meat Import-Export Authority Accreditation Framework. Over to you, Joelyn. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Hi, my name is Joelyn, and I'm from the Industry Development of the Singapore Food Agency. So I'll be sharing with you a quick overview of Singapore's food safety system. Next. The Singapore Food Agency was formed on 1st April 2019 under the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, with the mission to ensure and secure a supply of safe food. By having the oversight over the entire food supply chain, SFA is able to strengthen Singapore's food safety and supply. Next. So food safety is a key pillar underpinning food security. So SFA wants to ensure food security and, food supply and food safety while facilitating trade. So SFA adopts these key considerations in assuring food safety. And I'll elaborate more on them in the subsequent slides. So firstly, our food comes from many sources. So Singapore adopts a science-based risk management approach, which means we will target more stringent checks on food of higher food safety concerns. So higher risk food items such as meat, eggs, related products, and livestock, and some fish and seafood are only allowed from approved sources. So health certificates are also required. Next. So a quick overview of SFA's accreditation process. Firstly, we will do a country assessment on their animal health status, food control system, and regulatory oversight. Next, we will also assess based on, we will assess based on the establishment and farm level, followed by site inspection of the establishment. But however, this is for new countries applying to be accredited. So for any new Mexican establishments that wish to be accredited, they will just need to be based on satisfactory documentary assessment. Next. So details of our veterinary import conditions for meat and meat products can be found on our website, www.sfa.gov.sg. Next. So we have a total of 12 pork and beef Mexican establishments approved and importing frozen pork, processed pork, chilled and frozen beef, processed beef, canned meat, and eggs. So to import these items into Singapore, importers will need these following import certificates. So I've come to the end of my presentation, and SFA looks forward to greater imports of Mexican beef and pork to Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jolene, for your wonderful, insightful presentation. And now I'd like to let you know that this webinar is brought to you by SBF Global Connect program. And I would like to share with you more about this program in our video presentation.
Global Connect at SBF helps Singapore businesses expand into overseas markets. Since November 2019, we have guided Singapore businesses as they seize business opportunities in Asia and beyond. From identifying emerging trends to closing deals, we provide a full spectrum of overseas business expansion services. With Global Connect at SBF, you can learn about new markets, customers, and free trade agreements across the globe. Land opportunities and scale up in new markets, both physically and digitally. Localize overseas operations to ensure sustainable long-term success. Our Singapore Enterprise Centers in Indonesia and Vietnam also provide on-the-ground business and market development services. We also provide a dedicated digital B2B marketplace to quickly scale your business overseas. With Global Connect B2B, set up your company profile in minutes and start contacting thousands of regional partners and customers. Last year, Global Connect at SBF reached out to over 2,000 companies, completing many overseas expansion projects through its network of trusted business specialists and professionals. In 2021, Global Connect at SBF will also launch new initiatives for Singapore businesses to position themselves on the international stage. Explore business opportunities across ASEAN, South Asia, Japan, and other markets by joining us at Festival, our flagship digital event. Become part of the Global Connect at SBF community today and start enjoying exclusive benefits. Customized business advice, access to our overseas Singapore enterprise centers, preferential rates for services, as well as structured training, one-on-one advisory, and assistance on using free trade agreements to extract greater commercial advantages abroad. Global Connect at SBF, connecting your business to global opportunities.
Thank you very much. This event is going to be followed by a discussion and a Q&A session for the Mexican beef companies on Singapore halal requirements by the Halal Hub. It will then be followed by a B2B appointments with the beef and pork companies. And as you leave this webinar today, please do give us some feedback and do contact us for your internationalization needs. Thank you and have a great day and evening. Goodbye. And please do join us for our future events, and there will be more coming up in the future.
Thank you, muchísimas gracias. Y también quiero agradecer a Gerson Garduño y a Mario Calderón de aquí, de la Embajada, y a todos ustedes, muchísimas gracias. Mucho éxito en los B2B, lots of success in the B2B. Thank you very much. Gracias.
I also want to thank everyone who attended today's meeting. And I'm very, very sure that we will do many, many programs. I wanted to thank Amelia, Darius, and you know, and His Excellency, you know, for joining this program, and we will do many, many more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prasoon. Great success. First wonderful first event. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Amelia, thank you very much. Would be just to remind the participants, so for all the peace participants to stay or to join the halal session in 5 more minutes.